Hey guys, today we're going to do part 3 of the market analysis. We're going to do the micro level today, which is really kind of examining the zip code, the neighborhood area. We're going to try and uncover a lot of stuff about our tenant demographic. And if you like this kind of content or you want to learn more about this, please reach out to me. Give me a like, comment, subscribe, anything you want to hear me touch on next. But without further ado, we're going to continue going with this example of the Columbus deal. So I'm going to share my screen now. And here's kind of the little notes I've prepared. So we want to know our zip code, which for this deal, it's right here, 43235. And I just put that up here just so I know. But so here's the kind of things we're going to try and check off today. A lot of this is a little bit more not necessarily one-way answers, but more so kind of like really just understanding the area as a whole. So we got a few more websites to look into today, and I'll put all those into the description. But we're going to look for the household income down to the block, and I'll show you how you can do that on city data. Find out the occupations, the top 5 occupations in that zip code, so you really understand. Because when you look at the city as a whole, there could be tons of doctors, tons of lawyers, tons of these high earning W-2s, but this zip code that you're in could be where everybody who works at maybe a minimum wage job works. And so you can't get those high rents that you think you're going to just because you're in this high zip code. Down to that block, that could be where some more of that transitional jobs are located. So you want to understand the top 5 jobs in that location. We understand the average age in that location. So this is just really drilling down some of the things we already touched on in the city, but down to this specific area, which really kind of gives us a real good picture of the type of people we're going to be marketing to. The average persons per household. Now this is huge because this will really let you know, one, if the building you're looking at makes sense. And what I mean by that is, if you have a whole building full of studios and 1 bedrooms, and the average persons per household is 2, 2.5, 3, well, you're going to have a vacancy issue because there's too many people who, 3 people don't want to live in a studio. 3 people probably don't want to live in a 1 bed. They'll probably need to be at least a 2 bed or more. And understanding what that area is already telling you will help you not only pick the right investment, but just understand like who you're going to be marketing to. I mean, you got to give them what they want, and that's how you'll really succeed and not go against the market. Marital status, this will play into the average persons per household. Maybe if most of the people are single, divorcees, widowed, or anything like that, maybe those 1 beds would come into handy. Unemployment rates, we want to look at the businesses in the area. Really just kind of making a list. There's no magic number, but you just kind of want to understand like what type of area is this? Understand if it's an industrial area, commercial area, residential area, right? Like, is there tons of just shipping plants? Is like Amazon taking over, or is there a lot of shopping malls, or is it just surrounded by a whole bunch of residential housing? You want to understand the walk score, transient score. Located near major roads, it could be a good or bad thing. If it's too close, maybe it's too noisy, or it could be great for transportation to the rest of the city or to jobs. Look at crime trends, number of arsons, burglaries, shootings, property crimes, assaults, overall crime rating, and then just the community feel. And I'll show you which website to go to for that. But this would be a good list for us to really digest this deal. So we're going to start here at city data. And we're going to type in this zip code and we're going to hit go. And as we can see, there's a lot of renters here, so that's a good number to look at. Not really a number we're looking for, but a good number. We come down here, unemployment's 2.2% for population 25. Okay, so that gives you a couple different ones. 2.2%, so we can put that up here. We're going to look at another site too, all these sites will give you kind of an idea of what's going on. I mean, that's kind of a moving target. This map right here, this is huge for us. We can really kind of drill down in this thing. You can see it's an interactive map, so we can really even find where our building is, which I believe it's up this way. There's Northwoods. Is it up this way? So, well, anyway, we will come down here and we will find our average household income for this zip code. It's 83, which is great. This is a good zip code to be in, especially for raising rents. We'll come over here, we'll put that 83. But what we're going to try and do, so here's the address of it. So it's right here in between Northwoods and Far North. So we're going to try and find that here on city data. So let's see here. Well, actually, you know what? Let's make this full screen. There we go. So let's see. We are Northwoods. Antelope Way. There we go. So this is it right here. So we can click on this and it'll actually give us the median household income down to the area, the census block group, 74,219. So that's even a better number than what we just pulled because it is right down to that block specifically. And a cool thing about this is you can kind of tell sometimes if it's maybe in a path of progress, like if it's surrounded by a whole bunch of big incomes, maybe it's something to pay attention to. If they're the last, it looks like the lighter color block in this, if it's the last block of that kind, maybe it's getting ready to be taken over. Or it could just be in the worst part of town in a good part, right? So this is a good area, making a good $74,000. So that's good. So now let's come down to occupations. That's where we'll be over here in bestplaces.net, and you can go by the zip code. So we're gonna come over here to economy. And see, household income, pretty close to what we were saying, right? 73, we were at 74, 219, so that's good. And I like to just take notes on, what are the top 5 percentages? So I look at the highest, we got 14, so we got healthcare and social assistance. So that's a big one. That's a big one, 14%. Then we got 11, so educational services. Probably some professors at Ohio State. We have another 11% finance and insurance. Right? Excuse my spelling. So we got 1, 2, 3. Here's another one, professional, scientific, and technical services. We're just going to go ahead and copy these things from now on. Or maybe we're not. Scientific, technical. Yeah. Spelling is not my strong suit. And what's the next one? So we got a 9.4 here. Yep, that looks like it. So that's retail trade. So as you can see, there's some solid jobs here: healthcare and social assistance, educational, finance, insurance, scientific and technical, and then retail trade, which can be a little bit more transient, but these are some solid jobs here. And with the median income being 74,000 or 73,000, I would say that this is a good area in terms of income. So now let's look at, what's our next one? Average age. So we can find the average age on city data as well. Let's see here. Well, this is a That's poverty level. We want to figure out average age. Median resident age, 36.7, so a little bit younger than the state. So we can kind of, maybe gear that towards the millennial type. Oh, well, that wasn't the number. 36 point what? 7. And we can check that with bestplaces.net as well. So we can come over here to people stats and see that this one actually has them at 35.8. So pretty close. 35. Probably that millennial age groups, kind of younger, maybe younger families. But we'll find out a little bit more. So now we're going to find the average persons per household. And that will be household size 2.35. So kind of take that in how you will. Obviously can't be a 0.35 of a person anywhere. So we'll see. I don't know if they have average household. So, oh yeah, they do 2.3. So that's a pretty accurate number. Marital status, this is where this will come in. So we got married population, 52%. Single is obviously 47. So a little bit less of a little bit more married, which probably fills into that household size. So we can kind of see how many of them have kids and how many don't. So it looks like this is a more, there's like married couple with children, 31%, single household with children, 14%. So we can kind of guesstimate there's around, a good bit that have kids, but probably more so younger married couples with no kids. Only 31% married with kids, and 14, I think that's 14, single with kids. Right. Yeah, we were right, 14. Okay, so yeah. So this would be one of those things where we'd probably look into, I mean, it's not a big percentage that have children, so maybe that playground doesn't make much sense here. If that's part of your value add or anything like that, it's just something to take into account. Unemployment rate, said city data said it was 2.2. Let's see what this one says. Probably should check that when we were on economy. So this one says they're at 4%. So I'm gonna put both in there just to, I mean, these are all just data points to pay attention to, right? I mean, I'm sure all these are kind of off to some extent, but it's good to just have an idea, a ballpark of the unemployment trends or anything like that in your area. So now we're going to understand the businesses in our area. So that's where Google kind of comes in. So I typed in the address. It's this place. So we can find restaurants nearby. We got Wendy's, Ohio Pizza Wings. We got some of these higher class places down here. Yeah, Redlands Grill, First Watch, 5-star, Red Wagon. Looks like some nice places. So good restaurants. Massage, nice deli. Looks like a good picture. So you can kind of, write down what you will. And this looks like a good place too. You can see how many of these places are like 5-star. Maybe we can. They all have really good ratings. I haven't seen one that is like not good. and they're all 4.5, 4 at least. So we can kind of put in our notes, say good restaurants. Can't spell. But another thing we want to look at too is just like what's surrounding us, right? So here's, we got Zip Outdoor Ventures, got a Duncan, Stevenson's, contractor. That's us, Northwood Apartments, engineering consultant. Looks like some kind of medical center. Allergy place. Here's a church. School board association. Financial planner. Makes sense now with everything, right? Chiropractor, social services. So, I mean, the main thing you want to look for here is like bars, pawn shops, liquor stores, right? You don't want to be in an area like that where it's like the type of clientele that it would attract would give you headaches as a landlord or as an owner or investor. So I mean, it seems like this is like a really good place to live. I feel like I would live here. As gas station, Dunkin', Waffle House, good restaurants just up the street. You know, got some hotels, it looks like, so that's a good sign. Looks like this is some kind of little shopping center here. Yeah, so I mean, this is a good area. It looks like good restaurants. You know, you can search for shopping centers here. Right, and it'll give you like malls. You got a couple mall right there, plaza, some other stuff. So I would say it's a good area in terms of I think this is like commercial. This is a good commercial location. It looks like probably this is like a neighborhood right here. This is an apartment, but you know, these are probably all houses located around here. We can even do a satellite view. So here's Northwoods, and here's the rest of the houses. So it's good commercial. Probably can put commercial access, and then residential. Residential areas. Now let's look at the walk score. And these are all just good, they're just good data points to have, right? So you can just really start painting that picture of the story of this place. So this looks like a good area where Northwoods is. This place is car dependent. You know, walk score is 26. So I mean, transit score, I don't know if it has that in here. Minimal transit, 0. So everybody's got to have a car here. Located on a major road. It looks like it's close to one, but I think that's just good access. I don't think that's too close to where it'd be causing you issues. So I would say it's close, but good for access. So now we went over a good bit of stuff just now, right? And this is really just kind of just taking these notes, understanding the area, just really diving deep into what we're investing in terms of the zip code, this property, the people, the community, everything. So now we want to look at crime trends. And sometimes in these zip codes, it'll show you crime. Probably won't because it's too small data for city data. But we can look on bestplaces.net to understand the crime in this area. So violent crime is 27.1, beating the US a little bit. Property crime is high. US average is that. So these are things to consider, and it tells you violent crime component of 4 offenses: murder, manslaughter, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, property crime, you know, burglary, larceny, theft, you know, grand theft auto, stuff like that. So kind of show you a little bit. Here's, you know, you see it's a little redder over there. some reason our zip code seems to be a little lit up with more of this violent crime. But we will just note this. I mean, it's not beating the US by an alarming amount. Like, let's say maybe Baltimore is 27 point. Okay, not sure why that happened. 27.1 by 54.5 property. And here's another thing we can do too is, so I've searched for this on here on Trulia, just another way to look at it. You know, we're on Antelope Way. This is where Northwoods is. So this is a good little spot. So I clicked on this, and then they have their own little crime maps here. And you can see it's a lot different than reported crime the last 365 days. So this is pretty up to date, right? Monday, February 1st, felony theft, felony. So I mean, could be an area to look into. But I mean, as you can see on their crime rating, it's on the lower end. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see like this is probably a little bit more of a troublesome area. This not so much. But I'm sure it has some, right? I mean, every place has some crime, but it's just something to take into account. So I would say this is a lower crime area, overall crime rating lower. And then we can come over here and get this community feel. And this is a cool little website that forget who put me onto it, but ooh, that's not what we need. We need the zip code. And here's that. So this is niche.com, and this will give you a little report card on your area, which is pretty cool. So it tells you about public schools, nightlife, diversity, jobs, good for families, full report, weather. Yeah, I guess it's a little cold in Ohio, right? Health and fitness, commute, outdoor. You can kind of just see a little bit more of like just another website that just helps you understand more. You can kind of see what they're ranked for, right? 24 of 570 best places to live. Best zip codes for families, best public schools, median household income, right? Ours was around 74. Top public schools serving this. You can see the reviews for the schools. I think there's a way you can see what people are saying about it too. See if I can't find the comments. Maybe not, and you can see private schools too, which is good. But yeah, so you can kind of see this, like what's the overall feel of this area, and it looks like it does pretty well. This is in Worthington public schools housing. So I mean, overall, it's an A plus. It gives you data sources, and this is a pretty good website for that. You can see all the rankings too. So national best zip codes to live in America. It's in the top, I guess 1,000 or 2,000, right? In Ohio and Columbus area, you can see a little bit more granular, and then Franklin County, even like number 7 to live in Franklin County, number 9 for families, 9 for public schools, most diverse. So it's a cool place to where you can really kind of just understand. So it looks like it's a good area overall, just because it has this A plus rating, which there's a lot of cool, like you can search tons of places in here, places to work, schools near your rankings, places to live. And this is really just a good report card. So we'll put an A plus here for community feel. Maybe you can do some more research and go on some Reddit stuff too. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And what you want to do with this information is really just understand, like, is there some red flags, right? Like maybe this crime deters you a little bit. I mean, it says lower on Trulia, but this kind of has some higher ratings right here. Maybe the walk score is kind of an alarming rate. Businesses, like I said, if you saw like some pawn shops in there, liquor stores, strip clubs, anything that would attract the type of clientele that you're not really looking for. If unemployment rates are way higher than the United States as a whole. If your business plan is to input a playground and you see that only 30% have kids, and most of your building is studios and one beds or anything like that, it's good to realize and just have these data points to like understand flaws maybe in your business plan or in your, the sponsor's business plan, or just understand like feasibility and come up with real solutions for it. But with that, I will put all the websites into the description, and we'll be back next week to kind of bringing it all together, and we'll just kind of gather all of our information and put it into one kind of report to understand if we want to move forward or not, if there's any red flags, things to look out for. So look forward to seeing you guys next time. See you.